Welcome back. Another episode of Bengals Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hilton, here with the one, the only Kelsey Conway. And today we got episode 5 with a real special guest, your new starting safety. Y'all give it up for Dax Hill. Dax, welcome to the show.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Thanks so much for coming in. We've been waiting to get you in here, so we're excited about it.
People that know Dax, man, this is gonna be fun. Just be yourself, man. So we're gonna start with just who is Dax Hill, man? Just like you said, you're a soft-spoken dude, but just who are you as a person outside of football?
Shoot, I mean, I'm a family guy. I love to be around, my friends, family. I always grew up around being around someone. So I'm just having fun outside of football. Don't always think about football, but have a life outside of football. So born and raised Tulsa, Oklahoma. Small city, but I just love to get out, experience different things, different cities, love to travel. So that's me in a nutshell.
Since you brought up your family, I guess how many Hills are there?
Just one, just me and my brother.
Yeah.
3 years older than me. But
let's talk about close. Your brother.
Yeah.
Who is your brother?
Justice Hill. He plays for the Baltimore Ravens. It's going on his 5th year. Just signed a 2nd contract. So congrats to him on that. Shout out to him.
That's big.
If he ever sees this. But yeah, I mean, we grew up together, close, always competitive. He was always 3 years older than me, so I kind of wanted to, one up him. But, close relationship. So still close to the day.
So tell me about that first moment, both of y'all on the NFL field at the same time. Like, just take us through that moment.
It was kind of just surreal. I mean, just where we came from. Not a lot of people making out where we came from. We have a few guys that's still in the league right now. But it's kind of really just us. We're kind of the talk of the town, humbly. But really just being out on the same field with him, at this level, I mean, it kind of just shows all the hard work we put in together. Obviously, older than me, so he did his work, and I kind of watched him in the background. But as I got older, I kind of just saw how he, took that path, and that kind of just led me to where I'm at today. So I kind of give him a little bit of credit of where I'm at today. So, yeah.
Did your mom wear a split jersey when you guys play?
Nah, not really. I feel like it's going to come probably this year. Last year, I think my dad, he was rocking the Bengals jersey, and my mom, she was rocking the Ravens. But I feel like they may split it down the middle. We go see how it work out this year.
So did he play how many times have you gone up against his brother?
I want to say it had to be twice. Well, if we're not counting,
he's probably still playing him in Pittsburgh.
If we're not counting here, I was playing him in Pittsburgh. Yeah. So I want to say 2 or 3 times before I came here. So.
What do you think about his game?
Fast, speed. That's obviously something that runs in their family because he can run also. But speed, athleticism. He's a real good back. He just does. He doesn't get the touches because some of the guys in front of him, obviously Lamar at quarterback. But when he does get the touches, he's explosive.
Did you ever talk to him about Lamar when he was going through all that contract stuff? Like, did you ever say, like, is he going to actually come back and play for you, or did you kind of stay out of it?
I mean, he told me a little bit. Obviously, they knew they were going to work something out. Yep. It's just like the market, like it's Lamar. Like they gonna have. I mean, he's like the franchise player. Like they gotta have some way to figure it out. But he knew something was gonna happen. So he didn't tell me much, obviously, because he didn't really know the whole situation. But he told me a little bit about it. Since
we're talking about him, I don't think I've asked you, and now I can ask you both, because did you play a lot? Was that one of the games where you were starting when Lamar? Or was he out when you were this year, when you played him? Because Lamar had that injury.
Yeah, we played.
Are you talking about playing against my brother or playing in
Lamar?
First game, played him a little bit. I mean, he was out there, but...
Oh, right, because it was that Sunday night game.
Sunday night game
early in the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a challenge, but as two people that have gone up against him, I mean, how unique is he?
One of a kind. It's obvious how fast and elusive he is on TV, but when you're actually down there on the field with him, it's a totally different speed. And just throughout the week, it's hard to, you know, to recreate that type of speed and athleticism to get ready for. But, man, he's one of the best players in all of football, and people want to say he really can't pass, but he's able to put the ball on the money when he needs to. That's the thing. When he needs to, he can make all the throws.
I'd definitely say, like, so my first time, whenever we played him that Sunday night, my role during the week was basically to spy him. That's how you know, like, he's a good player. Like, if you have to have a spy player, for him specifically, like, that's your job. That's solely your job. Like, don't worry about anything else besides spying them. So that was my job, and I already knew what I was going up against. So, great player.
I remember that game because Nelly performed at halftime.
We don't be knowing all that.
I was thriving in the press box.
I didn't even know that.
Middle school, Kelsey was just having a little.
We miss all the halftime shows.
They say press boxes are very business, like, and there's no cheering in the press box. That's the rule for media.
Is that like a real rule?
Yes.
Y'all can't cheer?
No. Yes. And like, if you do, the PA announcer will get on and it'll be like, reminder, this is a working press box.
Oh,
and
they take it too serious.
Yeah, really serious.
They try to take shots.
Is that everywhere? Every stadium or just?
It's just the rule. Oh, and Nelly performed at halftime, and I scooted out of the press box into the radio box so I could listen. So I'm like, I'm actually not going to be quiet for this. But where did Justice go to college?
Oklahoma State.
Okay, so he stayed around where you guys grew up, and you decided to go your own direction.
Yeah, I went far. I went 16 hours away in the cold weather. Caught your shot. Everything. I was far away. My parents was like, "You good up there?" I'm like, "I'm good. Like, I'm independent. Like, I can do my own thing." But yeah, I was far away. Well, he stayed in state.
What made you choose Michigan over the hometown, Oklahoma or Oklahoma State? You know what I mean?
Shoot, I mean, it was really, I wanted to do something different. A lot of my homies, they were staying, you know, in the city, or they were like in the neighboring states, Arkansas, Missouri. But I just wanted to do something different. Then I vibe with the coaches, the players that were there. So that was really it, and where I kind of just wanted to, you know, start my college career. I could kind of see it starting at Michigan, so that's why I pulled the trigger on Michigan. Well,
speaking of Michigan and the Ravens ties, was the Ravens defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, your defensive coordinator at Michigan? Because isn't that where he came from?
Yeah, he was for a year. I mean, that was a quick year, but like, man, it was just a total, you know, 360 whenever he came around. Obviously, being at the Ravens for, I think, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that, as a linebackers coach. He kind of just brought that over, you know, to Michigan. So I'm glad that I had that year underneath my belt. You know, he taught me a lot of things about football I didn't really know. So it's just, you know, progression with him. So I'm glad that I had that time with him.
Well, when you ask all the Bengals offensive players what defense is the most challenging, Burrow and a couple of the guys will say the Ravens. Mm-hmm. That's given them the most difficulties. And obviously, you know, the wild card game, how close that one was. Right. What is it about his scheme, since you played in it, that's so hard for an offense to go up against?
I mean, it's really like multidimensional. I would say like different players could play different positions. You know, they have people like, obviously the draft, like they have people in certain spots, but I feel like it's very diversified. They can move people in different spots. So it's not really, okay, he's in this spot, he's going to play this position. You know, so it's a well-rounded, I would say.
All right, Dax, you going into year 2, man. You got on the field some your rookie year, you know, got some experience, but what do you expect personally from yourself going into year 2? I'm just looking myself in the mirror, telling myself like, this is just football. Like, even though that year was a rookie year, it played out the way it played out. Like, I know who I am. I'm here to, you know, prove to myself that I can play. I know I can play. So it's just, you know, getting out there, having fun with y'all. I mean, I seen the amount of fun y'all had last year, so, you know, I'm ready to rock out with y'all. So it's, you know, it's going to be a fun year.
Well, I'll ask it, since I know it's probably awkward for you to ask this. When you get drafted, you come into a situation where you know you're not going to start. Mm-hmm. How was that mentally for you? Because you're a first round draft pick, and that's what people assume, that when you're taken in the first round pick, you're immediately supposed to become a starter. But you were in a unique situation in that Jesse is one of the best at his position, and no matter how good you are going to be or were at the time, you're probably never going to replace him. So for you mentally, how was coming into a situation where you feel like you're at the top of your career at Michigan, you get drafted in the first round, and then you're kind of going into a situation where you don't know how much you're going to get on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I really just had to, tell myself, it's not really the time. There's seasons of life. I was telling myself, like, whenever I came in, I was in for a little bit, during training camp. But then, that first week came around, I was like, damn, I'm on a back burner. But I knew it was all for a reason. I just trust, myself. I trust, God. He put me in the situation. And so all this hard work I done did, I know it's going to pay off eventually. So I wasn't really tripping, but at the same time, I knew, what I could bring. But, sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want it to. So, it's all timing.
Mike, I want to ask you on the flip side of that, because your perspective as a vet is interesting to me in this situation. If you were Jesse, or say next year they draft a slot corner, I know you guys are, and when you get in the locker room, it's a family, but you hear the stories about how mad Aaron Rodgers was when they drafted Jordan Love.
Right.
How do you deal with knowing that your replacement is essentially here? So
in a sense is, that time eventually is going to come, because you were that guy to replace somebody else before, and I just feel like that's something every athlete has to go through. We're all competitive people. We all want to be that guy, to be the starter, or just be the guy that can get on the field. But we know it's going to take steps. You're going to go through your career, but then somebody else is going to come right behind you. But that's the part of being a veteran. You can't take it personally. You definitely want to put the team first, and show that next guy, this is how we do things here. Follow my lead, and I can try to get you on the field. Like, I want you to beat me out, but I'm not going to let you beat me out, in a sense. You know what I mean? And it's just, especially me being that veteran guy, I try to show that leadership, and try to tell guys, like, all right, your time is coming. It might not be week 1. Shoot, it might be week 7. It might be week 17 when, we really need you. You just got to be ready when that time is called. So as a veteran, just, showing guys the right way.
How was Jesse with you when I heard that? I think when someone asked you when you got drafted, have you heard from Jesse? What did you learn from Jesse and Vaughn last year, and how was that relationship with you guys?
Really just like how to approach the game. Going to game day. How I noticed, like, during the week they were locked in, but at the same time they were having fun. But during as time got closer to game day, I noticed, a switch turned on, like they were like in game mode. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I really noticed about how they prepare, during the week, they're focused on the field, have fun at the same time. But that's what I learned from them. And, don't take it, as serious as it is. Like, we've been playing football all our life. So like, whenever you're out there, it's just football. Like, you think it's really like, outside looking in, you think it's going to be a lot because you're not playing, but once you're out there, it's just normal, So I learned a lot from them, though.
What'd you learn from hanging with Vaughn and Jesse? 2 years.
I'm gonna start with Vaughn. Me and Vaughn actually know each other since high school, so we
Georgia.
So we kind of already had a relationship, and once I got here, he kind of just took me under his wing and showed me around the city, meeting people around the organization. And, like I said, me and him been knowing each other for a long time. And then Jesse, I knew about him, me playing with Pittsburgh, and, obviously watching the Bengals for a couple of years. I knew who he was as a player. But then once I got to really meet him and sit down and talk to him. You know, he's a genuine dude. You know, he loves his family. He loves football, and you can just tell he cared about his teammates. So shout out to those guys, man. We'll see. We'll see you preseason.
Both of those guys, I mean, I started covering the Bengals last year, and they both couldn't be nicer to talk to when you have to interview them. And from what I heard from the media, that Jesse went kind of through the bad years when the Bengals were really losing a lot. He was always the guy in the locker room that no matter how bad the game was or if he didn't play well, he was always willing to talk to the media, and he just seems like a pro's pro. So I wish them the best of luck too, absolutely. Because they were both really awesome to deal with. But it's kind of interesting because you guys were kind of the nucleus of the defense, and now Dax is going to be starting. Nick Scott's going to be starting. Cam, of course, got experience, but he's still pretty young. So it's like you and Cheeto are kind of the old guys in the room.
We take pride in that, though. We know these guys, they're ready. You know what I mean? We see them every day. We know how hard they work, and we know how much time they're going to put in to try to help us win the Super Bowl. So we know the moment's not going to be too big for them, and we're really excited. I'm really excited for him to get full-time reps and really show what he's able to do.
Yeah, so I have a couple questions that lead into that. When you were saying that it was God's plan to bring you here, even though you weren't going to be able to start in the position you want to play, do you feel like you filling in for Mike when he was out with, what was your finger?
The one that was my knee, actually.
Yeah,
that was my knee.
Because you missed how many games last year?
2.
You were starting at the slot corner role, which now opens you up to more things that you can do in a defense. Did you feel like that was, I guess, the silver lining of the position you were in last year?
Yeah. I mean, you never want to see an injury. I mean, we all brothers, you know, at the same time, so you don't want to see anyone go down. But, you know, whenever your name is called, I mean, you said silver lining, like, I feel like that's another opportunity, you know, for, you know, someone to step in and, you know, really just carry the load of the person that went down. So it's really just like, it's not really just about like, oh, he's down, like, I'm gonna take a spot. It's really just like, you show what you can do, and then, you know, you just represent it. You represent the defense, but you represent, I would say, you represent whoever went down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of weird to, you know, like really put in the words, but it's really not just, oh, this is my position. It's really just like, okay, I'm really just here since you down, but I'm gonna still give my best efforts.
What game do you feel like in the limited times you were able to be out there, not on special teams, did you feel like was your true moment that you felt like was your best moment, play, or game? And then I want to ask you which game you thought was his, or which play you thought was what you're going to see more of from Dax Hill.
It was a combination of games. I would say special teams. I mean, I was, you know, making some plays on special teams. Gunner, I was really just like shaking some guys for real. Like, if I really wanted to, like, if I wanted to, blow past a guy, like, I would do that.
3 speed.
Nah, for real. Like, sometimes I was just like, man, whatever. I'm gonna just try to make the tackle. So I made a few plays on, punt, and then I would say I made a few plays. I would say during the playoffs. One that I can remember off the top of my head is Buffalo.
The same one I was about to say.
Yeah, the same one. I was like, okay, bet.
What happened? Refresh my memory.
It was like red zone. Knox, like he was getting active like late in the season. I think he had like 5-6 games where he was scoring touchdowns. So I knew that was my role that week, just guarding him. So I knew he was going to run like a certain route. Like, he ran certain routes in the red zone. Yep. So I anticipated him doing a certain route, and I broke on it. So that was one of the best plays I'd have made for sure. Yeah,
he took it right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was about to say. Playoff game, him guarding one of the best young tight ends in the football in the league, and he's able to go mano a mano with him and hold his own. So we kind of knew, that was one of those moments. Even in the playoff game, a lot on the line. Dax is ready, and he's a guy we expect to make a big jump for us.
Is that the role? Well, not at free safety, but do you envision yourself having to go up against tight ends more often? Like, is he the new matchup tight end guy in the defense? Because Trey Flowers obviously filled that role for you guys.
Say too much.
Yeah,
game plan, but we got some schemes.
The reason I ask is because your size. How tall are you?
Like 6'1". It don't matter.
I mean, because Trey was how tall? He was tall.
About 6'3".
You go up against some pretty big tight. I mean, the NFL tight ends
6'5",
now are
6'6", and can run.
Massive.
Yeah.
How challenging was that specific matchup for you to get used to in the NFL?
I mean, it was definitely a challenge. You're not really seeing that type of size and speed moving in college, so that was like an adjustment. But you get the hang of it. You already know what you're going to go up against during the week. So, yeah, I mean, that was something I had to get used to. But I mean, that's the NFL.
Point blank period. And we put him on the island. Like, I remember we doubled Diggs, Gabriel Davis inside the red zone. So we knew where the ball was going. Right. And it was 1-on-1 him versus Knox, and Dax got the win. That's what we knew.
Coming to me too.
Not to ruffle any feathers, but since we're talking about the Bills in that game, did you guys see the clip about one of the Bills players? I forget. I believe it was Isaiah McKenzie who said that if they had a dome.
He said a dome. He didn't even say dry weather. He wanted to say a dome.
They would have beaten you guys. You have anything to say about that?
No.
Okay.
Next subject, because y'all gonna get me started.
Why you gonna say that?
Well, I feel like, let me know if you agree with this. Some of the most interesting conversations we've had with guys that have come in here has been what positions they used to play.
Yeah.
Like Cam Taylor-Britt used to be a quarterback. Nick Scott was a running back who got beaten out by Saquon. Sorry, Nick, we just had to say that. But what position did you play in high school?
Same thing, really. Free safety. I play receiver, so on the offensive side, I can move a little bit.
You ain't putting up them numbers, though.
100 plus. 100 plus. I'm looking like Jamar for real. But receiver and safety.
So did you get recruited to play in there, or you
recruit at receiver?
Yeah.
Not really. I didn't really have a lot of buzz on the offensive side, but it's really just safety.
Just safety.
Yeah.
You keep talking about how fast he is. Yeah. What does that allow him to do at free safety speed?
Cover sideline to sideline, protect everybody on the deep ball. Whether, they're going to make catches and stuff, but we feel like Dax will close that space and at least get them down for a tackle. But when you have a guy that's a 4-3, just back there roaming, you as a corner, you feel a lot better about, being a little slower on routes and kind of trying to undercut certain routes, because the guy over the top is not going. He's not going to let anybody behind him, and he's a sure tackler. So we feel like with a guy like that, we can be more aggressive on the outside.
What did you run a 40-yard dash at the combine?
4.37, I believe.
Wow.
Speed. I'm telling you,
that's moving.
It's crazy. Everybody in our secondary, besides me, I'll be honest. Besides me, probably runs 4.3. I think everybody besides me runs a 4.3.
So you think that's might be something that's a little bit underrated right now? Is you think you guys are going to have a pretty fast secondary?
It's going to definitely be hard for teams to get over the top of us. We feel like with our speed, we're going to just make it difficult, and we know what the guys up front. All we got to do is just cover for a couple seconds, and those guys will do their job. So we know what the speed we got. We feel confident.
What's the biggest whiff both of you had so far in your career? Like where you just took the wrong angle, or it was just bad?
I'm sure I got plenty on tape. I can't point out one. I've been around for a while, but I'm sure it's been plenty. That's actually a good question. I might have to go back and check that out.
For real, I gotta go
especially
back
from this past year.
Oh, I'm sure some of our podcast listeners might do it for us.
Are you talking about like in general, like our entire career?
No, just in the NFL.
Oh, in the NFL? Oh, I ain't got I can't think.
Yeah, you gotta give me some time on that one.
Yeah, ain't got nothing for you.
Going to Michigan, you've seen the Michigan, Ohio State, the big house, the crowd. How would you say it compares to a full house at Paycor?
You can be honest. You can be honest.
It depends on what game it was. Like, if it's a regular day, like it's no comparison. Like Big Ten football. Like, it's not really comparable to that. But I would say, like, if it was a big time game, I would say it's up there. But it just depends on what type of game it is.
Right. Well, isn't Michigan like 110? I think it's similar to Penn State.
That's wild. 110?
Me and Nick, we go back and forth because it's like we know, like, we have the same amount of people. But, like, I don't know. Like, Michigan can get up there, too. But Penn State really can get up. Yeah.
They was
I'm telling you, like, the whiteout games are
Smooth.
definitely, like, the memorable games.
Okay.
Like,
I can see that.
I'll say whiteout. I don't know, like, a regular day with Penn State. I don't know how it sounds, but a whiteout definitely will get your
So
blood
what about
pumping.
Ohio State? They lined up in
I've
there?
never been in there.
Yeah.
So my freshman year, we played at the big house, and then COVID happened. Then we was back at the big house my junior year. So
Okay.
You only played 3 years in Michigan?
so I never got a chance to play at the Ocean.
I didn't know that.
That's so interesting.
I didn't know that.
Dang, I think I'm like the only player that's never played since going to Michigan. Like, I've never played no
That's
Michigan.
wild.
What was the experience like playing for Jim Harbaugh?
I mean, we go be working. I'll tell you, like, them training camp days in general, just throughout the year, it's very, like, strenuous. Like, they got us in there right after classes. I mean, you're going to be straining too. But, after that, I mean, you'll be, typical practice, but there's just a lot more that goes into it.
Overall, are you glad you went to Michigan?
All right, yeah, for sure. I mean, just hindsight, a lot of good people there, good people, alumni, the coaches, all, genuine people.
If I were to ask you if Dax Hill is not at the facility, what would you guess he'd be doing when he's not watching tape or working out? See how well your teammate knows you.
I don't know, because Dax is so... He's not an introvert, but he's just a real soft-spoken, quiet dude. Until he gets comfortable around you. Like
I just got to get it comfortable.
Yeah, once he gets comfortable.
Like,
it's hard to tell what Dax does outside the building. I'll say he's probably playing games, like...
Playing the game, as I learned.
There you go. See, now you remember from a couple episodes. But I can see him doing that. I don't know. Dax is really... He's like an onion. You got to peel him back layer by layer.
How far into that onion are you at right now? Still got a ways to
Still got
go?
a ways to go.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, we need to do more stuff outside.
We do.
Well, so we could just ask the source, what do you like to do when you're not playing football?
I'm really traveling. I mean, whenever we have breaks, I'm traveling. Because I'm to and from Michigan, different parts of Michigan. I love Michigan. But I'm really just, chilling. I mean, Cincinnati, you're not going to really be doing much. But
He didn't mean that in the wrong way, fans.
But I mean, I enjoy the city. I try to get out. I'm a homebody, but at the same time, I like to experience, the city. So
You like a gamer, a Netflix person?
definitely like a Amazon Prime guy. Like, I'm always on Amazon Prime. Like, I love the different series. Like,
What's your favorite Amazon Prime series?
Snowfall, for sure. I just got done with it, actually.
Just finished.
I haven't heard about that one.
You should try
Check
it.
it out.
What's it
You
about?
gotta pay for it though.
Okay.
It's not free.
Might be free on Hulu though.
So
What'd you think about being able to watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime this past year?
I don't think it's no different. I mean,
I mean,
Amazon, they still get our money. You know what I'm saying? So,
how do you feel about, since we're talking about Thursday Night Football, the rule that was passed recently that you guys could potentially play more than one Thursday night game? Because I thought it was interesting. Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey have a podcast. It's very popular. We're Coming for You, a New Heights show. But they said I can't believe players would have a problem with it because essentially you have 3 walkthroughs that week. You don't have real practice and then you get the weekend off. So they were saying for players, it's actually not that bad. But a lot of people said when it was originally passed that this is the NFL saying they don't care about like player health and, you know, all of that. So how do you guys feel about that possibility?
Personally, I don't like it. I never was a fan of Thursday night games, but you know, it's kind of part of our job, just something we have to do. And now with the possibility of having 2 within 1 year, you know, that's tough. If they do that, make sure it's like early in the season and then late in the season. Like don't do it middle of the season back to back. Just
you can't do it back.
You can't. Like I understand what they were talking about as far as just walkthroughs, but you know, I still feel like you need some full practices for an NFL game, and that makes a difference.
I mean, just to piggyback off what he said, I mean, it's a long season. You just need that break in between each game. So Thursday night game, I mean, everything's revved up. Everything's, you know, a lot quicker. Installs quicker. That entire week is quicker. So, like you said, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I'm still trying to play it out. Like, I really don't even know. It's just I'm still the young buck, so I'm still trying to figure it all out. But yeah.
What point, since we're talking about how long of a season is, at what point last season did your body, because college football essentially ends beginning of December, right?
Just depends.
I mean, if you're playing in the college football playoff, yeah. But you guys get a decent amount of the month off before the bowl games. At what point, which week during the NFL season did your body maybe hit a wall?
I would say like toward the back end of it. Like Cleveland game, I would say the second time we played Cleveland. That's when I really started to feel it.
That just was a bad game
that was a bad
overall.
Game
it was a bad Halloween.
Got embarrassed on national TV on Halloween. I remember that one.
And Cheeto went down, it just bad vibes, spooky vibes.
No, the second time we played them, no. Like you talking about
early December.
Yeah.
I think it was like December 11th.
That was like the very first time like I actually felt my body shut down. Like I really had to like look at myself. I'm like, wow, do I really like love playing football? Like
really?
Just second guess.
Not really, but it's just like wow. Like
it takes a toll on you.
It's really a lot that you really have to, you know, take control. You really have to take control of what you want to do. Like if you don't have a routine, I mean, that's gonna be on you. But
has there been anything, whether it be massages, acupuncture, things that you didn't do in college that you now have to do because of the length of the season that you learned last year?
Yeah, I really tapped into it right when I got here. I was really heavily involved in terms of my body and health in college. I didn't really get that routine until like my junior year. So all that kind of just transitioned until, you know, when I got drafted. So right when I got here, like I tapped into Sam. Like Sam, he's been here for years, so I already knew he gonna have all the connections. So he put
Sam
me
Hubbard?
on Sam Hubbard. So he put me on all his masseuses, chiropractors, acupuncturists. Vaughn put me on some people. Now I've been doing Pilates. So it's just a lot of things I do now.
How do you like Pilates?
How do you like Pilates? I've actually never done it.
Actually, the first time I did it like 2 weeks ago.
I heard it's hard.
It just depends on what type of instructor you have. Like I had a cool instructor, so she wasn't like forcing it too much.
Yeah.
But you really go feel it. Like next day you go feel it. It's like you like doing 707 like today. You go actually feel it. Yeah. But it just depends. But I like it.
So you feel like now heading into the season, you'll know, you know, December, that's kind of when my body's really going to start feeling the rest of the season.
I'm going to stay ahead of it though. It's like, why would I wait? Yeah. Why would I wait until December? And then, so it's just staying ahead of it and doing more than I did last year.
So you're pretty slight, right? How much do you weigh?
She did say you was little on the
comparing,
she tried to slide it in there real slick.
No, I mean your draft I'm basing this off your draft profiles, and I do all the research on you. You're clearly fast, which means you can't have a ton on you. So I'm not. It's a good thing.
I'm 195.
Are you one of those guys that eats very healthy, or do you have a chef? Do you have a chef?
It's so hard. It's like stay healthy. Like I don't know how you eat, but it's like whenever I try to eat healthy, it's like 3 days, and then after that, I'm just
it sounds about right. It sounds
fast food, like Chipotle, like So it just depends.
And that's what I want people to understand. I guarantee you, not a lot of athletes eat as healthy as y'all think we do.
We just naturally.
We
we can get away with it.
We can. Like I'm not gonna say. I'm sure some might be overdue, but for the ones that think we're fixed food, breakfast, lunch, dinner is healthy. No, it's not like that.
Well, what I've learned by observing is half your locker room is split on that. So like Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson are very
on their diet.
They have chefs that drop the food off. But then there's some other of you that just have amazing genetics. And the reason I asked is I used to work for the Falcons, and I remember being in the breakfast line with Calvin Ridley. You know who Calvin Ridley is? He's very slight and he's fast. Yeah. So nothing against slight, fast guys. But he ordered it before me, and I looked at him. I was like, Calvin, you can eat like that and be as fast as you are. He was getting like a biscuit and a big like egg sandwich, and I'm over here like, can I have my granola? But I just think it's fascinating that you guys are able to move as quickly as you do, but sometimes you don't even have to eat like super healthy.
Just all those calories that we do put in from eating bad, we're going to burn it off the next day. Our bodies are just in tune with getting that waste out of our system and knowing that we're athletes, so we have a certain not even figure, because that sounds just certain way that our body reacts to different food.
Our body is just so used to, like you said, just always running on the go. So it's like our body is just so routine to just burn and look the same. Like I can see, like if you out to leave, you retire, like okay, you go get that beer belly, but
for sure,
right, you go get that beer belly, but it's like okay, you still in the league, you still active, even in the off season. I mean, your body is just not going to change the figure, you know what I'm saying? So it's just who we are as athletes.
Well, it's pretty wild to see the transformation when like Joe Thomas, the offensive lineman, how much weight he lost, how quickly he lost it when he was done playing. So what's your guilty pleasure food?
I mean, anything that's chocolate, like, I don't know. It's just, I've always had a sweet tooth. I don't know.
Not all chocolate.
I don't know. It's just like, if I have a craving, I'm going to chocolate. I don't know what it is. I'm going to chocolate.
So do you keep a lot of chocolate in your house?
I do, actually.
Like what type of chocolate?
Just like a certain, because you just going around eating.
Not chocolate, like Nutella. Like, are you a fan of Nutella?
I don't like Nutella.
You not? You don't?
I feel like Nutella is pretty similar to our conversation about IKEA. I feel like Nutella is pretty split. Some people love it and some people don't.
I'm not a fan of Nutella.
I grew up eating chocolate, so it's like that's my guilty pleasure. I can't even control myself. It's like, okay, if I want something, I'm going to chocolate.
I don't blame.
I'm gonna next time we're in the Bengals locker room, the media is. I'm looking to see if there's like a Nutella can.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Nutella, y'all gotta actually shout me out. Get some type of sponsorship or something. I need something.
Leave it all.
So Nutella, what else?
What else? I mean, I love pasta.
Have you eaten at Soto yet?
Yeah, I was just there like a month ago.
It's good.
It was too dark for me though. I thought I was about to like pass out.
Where was
I go to sleep?
It's
I was like,
super dim.
What is it?
Soto.
Oh, I haven't been.
I couldn't find it. It was so hard to find it.
It's like underground. It's just a good Italian place, but their it's impossible. I mean, you probably have major pull, but for regular people, it's like 3.5 month wait list for pasta.
For some. It's insane. That pasta better be crazy there.
I mean, it was pretty good, but I don't think it's a 3 month wait. I just go to Kroger, get some pasta
myself.
Right.
So can you cook?
That thing on the stove. I can a little bit. My fiance, she does most of it though.
Oh yeah, we totally buried the lead. Congratulations is due here.
A couple months ago too, wasn't it? Right before February. We started.
Shoot, right when we got done. Didn't waste no time.
Yeah, tell us about the whole, how you did it, where you did it.
I did it in St. Martin, so that's like 3 hours from Miami. So we were there for like 5 days. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, so we got in. Going to a different country overseas, it's like, okay, you really got the passport. You really got to figure out, because they didn't speak English. So I didn't have like a taxi, all that set up. So I'm like on the side trying to like get people's attention. And there's all these people trying to, get to wherever they're going. So we didn't get to the hotel till like 5, 6 o'clock. Then we had a nice suite, wanted to make it all,
for sure.
worth it, you know what I'm saying? Sure. So I had to get a nice suite. But that took like 30, 45 minutes. So we were just waiting around, sitting around. So I was thinking about how I was going to do it while I was waiting around. So we get to the room, and so there's like restaurants near where the resort's at. So we get done with packing all our stuff up. So we were eating at this spot. And by that time, like the sun's going down, sun sets already. And so by that time, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay, am I going to do it on the beach? But it's too dark for the beach. And so we went around the resort, and the back of the resort, they had different things. They had cornhole, they had like infinity pool, they had ping pong. Then they had this pier you can walk out to. Then there's like this gazebo that lead out to the water. Right. So, and it had lights around it. So I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Like it was dim, very dark. And then it had this illuminating gazebo. So we would just pull up to it. And that's where I did it. I didn't really know how I was going to do it. I just freestyled off the head, but it ended up.
Did she have an idea?
Huh?
Did she have an idea what's coming? Or
yeah, so we was actually, man, like I kind of gave it away, but I didn't at the same time. Because, you had to meet up with the parents. Yeah. So we was both in Michigan. And so, I mean, I eat with the parents, but not like that. So it was like a 2-on-1 thing. She was like, why are you going with your parents? I'm going to eat with my parents. I'm like, I just wanted to sit down and talk to them. So she already knew.
Put two and two together.
She already put 2 and 2 together, but she didn't tell me till after, but she already knew. So yeah.
That's awesome that you asked her parents, because I feel like right now.
Oh, you're supposed to. That's just
you're supposed to, but I know a lot of people that their fiancés didn't ask.
That's true. Oh, yeah, wow. It's just one of those things you have to do. You know what I mean? If you up and just ask her out the blue without asking the parents, I feel like it's somewhat disrespectful.
Vendetta, like down the line, like it is kind of disrespectful. It's kind of
disrespectful because you taking their daughter like really away from them for good. You know what I mean? And I just feel like that's just something you have to do if you're gonna propose.
Was it hard to find a ring? Or did she give you an idea of what she wanted? I
actually did my due diligence on it. I found someone downtown, Richard and Phillips.
That's awesome.
So it's
down here?
Down here.
Oh.
They barely got it to me because I was trying to take off like end of February. It didn't come till like a day before.
Were you nervous going through the airport with it? Like, what if it falls out of my pocket?
Well, I actually had a fanny pack. Like, I wasn't letting go of that fanny pack. Like, it was strapped around my chest the entire time. Like, I wasn't letting go of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What, do you guys have any wedding plans? Are you when you're going to get married, or just kind of letting it be?
July 9th is the wedding date. Then for the honeymoon,
we still this
like coming up this July 9th or next year July 9th?
Like
in next month.
Wow.
In a month.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Right.
So after this is done, like, I'm heading straight to Michigan trying to plan all that. Like, it's coming up.
What are some things that, having gone to weddings, like what do you really, if you had a list of like must-haves for your wedding, do you have certain things that are very important to you?
I mean, really just kicking it with my guys. I got like 6 groomsmen. So it's like they all go be up. We go be on a boat. Her family has a boat, so we just gonna be on the water chilling.
Oh, that's smooth.
Then we probably just meet up with the bridesmaids that night, probably chill.
You gonna write your own vows? Or you gonna do it the original vows?
I'll probably write my own.
Smart man.
That's
Smart
awesome.
man.
You memorize yours?
What? I took a whole 2 weeks just once I read it. I just can't.
I gotta start right now because this thing is creeping up quick.
You gotta do it.
So I need to start on it.
Do you have an officiant? Because I have I think someone sitting across from me would be a pretty good wedding officiant. I don't know. I feel like you'd be really good at officiating a wedding.
I don't know.
That's some pressure though.
That is some pressure because you're gonna have to direct everybody and make sure everything's. Yeah, that's a lot.
You sending someone off in a marriage as one. That's different. But I one. I know some people in Florida.
Awesome.
So,
is your brother your best man?
oh yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
You got to.
Just making, I mean, some people have childhood friends that are really close too.
That's true.
So, and then you're going on your honeymoon, and this is all before training camp.
We don't really know when we're going to do the honeymoon. Probably after the season.
Yeah.
Because we just went out of the country.
Right.
So we're just going to plan on that.
Oh, that's super exciting! Congratulations! So much
Ooh, you got a lot coming
going
up
on.
next month.
Yeah, what a big year for you! You're
It is. I
getting
really just
married, taking over as the starter.
I really just want to get all that done for a training camp, so I can just lock in the training camp.
Yeah.
Smart. Make
Well,
that thing
congrats!
easy.
That's awesome.
That is.
Appreciate
You doing a
Appreciate
DJ or a band?
Dang. So actually, I know a few guys that had symphonies. Like they had an entire orchestra. I was like, do I want to go that route? I didn't. I just ended up having a DJ. So he's a pretty good DJ. He's out of Chicago. Does
I thought
some
the symphony would have been a smooth idea.
Huh?
I thought the symphony would have been
Symphony,
a smooth
like
idea.
they had the harp,
everything.
everything. I was like, wow, that's real classy. I'm like, dang, I'm not sure if I could do that or not.
Costs a little money, but you know.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I had to really take that
cost a little money.
to account. I'm like, should I really pay that money?
But it's a once,
we just go have
once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, nah, you really have to sacrifice for it.
That's
If you really want
awesome. A summer wedding. It'll be nice weather.
to. It's really nice in Michigan.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't really know where we wanted to do it at, but Michigan is really nice.
Are y'all doing it at church or out somewhere?
It's gonna be a venue. It's right by the water.
Wow.
So it's gonna be
Awesome.
inside, but everything else gonna be outside. Reception gonna be inside, obviously, but it's right by the water. So if you want to go outside, chill out,
That's smart.
it's gonna be a nice little spot.
Oh yeah, you got some stuff coming up,
Nah,
bro.
for real. We still trying to plan for it because we got over almost 200 people coming.
Wow.
So it's just like, man, I'm still trying to get everybody that I know from the crib, that's trying to come. So there's a lot of planning.
What
Because we
a
don't have weather plans.
what a fun time though. It's probably stressful, but
But it's the best time.
that's
It is.
She
That's
asked me all these
amazing.
questions. I'm like, you take care of it. I don't want to do it. Just please, just take care of it.
So y'all ain't get no wedding planner or nothing?
Nah.
Oh, y'all freestyling it.
Bro, in Michigan, they were saying the minimum for a wedding planner is $25K. I'm like, that's already over budget.
Ooh.
Ooh, is right. I'm like, nah, I wouldn't try to do that. So
Yeah.
I was like, nah, we're going to mitigate all that. We're just going to do our own thing and keep it within the budget.
Where'd you get married?
Back in Atlanta.
ATL.
I'm actually going into my 5th year in October.
That's
So
Is that what the Italy trip is for? Early anniversary?
basically, yeah, because we never
Awesome.
really took a honeymoon. Well, we took I wouldn't consider going to Cali or something, out the country
Yeah.
type of honeymoon. So I wanted to surprise her with that for our 5th kind of anniversary. So we'll be leaving for that actually in 11 days. I'm
So
excited. I'm
jealous.
ready.
I'll be
ready to
living
get this
vicariously
in the
through your
last day.
Instagram
Man,
post.
You to that flight.
I'm out,
You
bro.
out, I already know.
Soon as we leave the 17th, our last day here is the 16th. We're flying
No, you
home
out.
to Atlanta, and next day we're flying out to Italy. So
Are you going to head out right? Like they say it's the last day of school for you guys, right?
everybody's
It
going.
is last day. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably train here, but I'm going to probably go to Michigan, plan all of the wedding stuff.
You be
Are you
back in
training
Michigan, or
inside?
Do you train out in Michigan?
I was training. I'm just trying to figure it out. I was training in Tampa for the off season, but I train there whenever I'm there. But I'm gonna probably go to Black Sheep. Blue Edge. Yeah, I'll probably train there.
Nice. So before we let you go, what's been your favorite part about being a part of the Bengals in Cincinnati so far?
Really just the people. I just love being around just different people, seeing how people just operate, being in a different environment, around grown men. It's just, okay, I want to admire him. I want to, kind of mold my game after him. So it's been a real, pleasurable experience, I would say. It's been ups and downs, obviously. That's with anything like in life. But it's been fun. I enjoy, my time in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's kind of grown on me. Like last year, I didn't really know it had much to offer, but this year it's kind of grown. You really got to find it. Like if you find it, it's really going to be a lot of different things you can do. So I've enjoyed it so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm all good. We appreciate you, man.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
We wanted to give you, let you have an opportunity to kind of open up. Like I said, you're a soft-spoken dude, so we want all the fans to really know who Dax Hill is and what he brings to the table. So we appreciate you coming on.
Well, thanks for coming and good luck with your wedding.
Thank you so much. It's going to be a lot, but I appreciate you. Appreciate you.